Welcome to the Remembrance Day ceremony at Bedford South School. I am Addison Burbridge. I will be your MC for this solemn ceremony. At Bedford South School, we take Remembrance Day very seriously as we practice peace, respect, tolerance, and kindness. Every day, we also recognize the veterans and the serving personnel, protect our freedoms and keep us safe, and those who are not amongst us anymore and gave up their future for our future. COVID-19 has created many necessary hurdles, but we didn't want that to hold us back as we recognize our selfless heroes by organizing this virtual ceremony. Being a multicultural school, we also want to recognize the service personnel who are from other nations who joined the war effort for a great cause. We start our ceremony with lead-in by Piper Ian LeBlanc, followed by a virtual parade of veterans and service personnel. Please stand as we honor our heroes. Standing for O Canada, played on the saxophone by Mr. DeMoff. Thank you, Mr. DeMoff. You may all please sit down. I would now request Miss Healy, our principal, to say a few words.
Welcome to Bedford South Remembrance Day Virtual Assembly. Firstly, I would like to acknowledge and welcome our virtual audience this morning and our honored guests. Once again, the pandemic has made many ceremonies a challenge. We are so fortunate to have Mr. Aurora and his team of volunteers who put together this virtual celebration. Across Canada and in many other countries, people gather on November 11th to honor the courage and devotion of brave men and women who made the supreme sacrifice of dying for their country. The hostilities of the First World War ceased on November 11th, 1918 at 11 a.m., the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. The following year marked the first observance of a day to remember and honor those who died, as well as to give thanks for the sacrifices of those who came back from serving their country. Since then, Canadians have fought in other conflicts, and many have given their lives so that we might enjoy freedom today. They too should be remembered. We at Bedford South believe in and practice peace, respect, tolerance, and kindness. Remembering is important. It gives us a chance to show respect for those wonderful human beings who gave up their lives for our tomorrow, a supreme sacrifice that should never be forgotten. We have a beautiful cenotaph at our school that recognizes the Canadian Navy, Canadian Army, Canadian Air Force, and Merchant Marines, represented by each pillar which upholds all that is Canada. Free, fair, respectful, and peaceful. Students will have a chance to view this cenotaph throughout the week leading up to Remembrance Day. We also gather today to thank all servicemen and personnel and uniformed services who made our life a lot easier. Bedford South is a very multicultural school and has many children who are from nations that supported us during the Great Wars. We want to take this opportunity to thank many forgotten soldiers. Thank you for taking the time to join us today in our virtual Remembrance Day ceremony.
Thank you, Miss Healy. We will now have a Remembrance Day video address by Honorable Miss Kelly Regan, member of the Legislative Assembly, our guest of honor.
Hi, I'm Kelly Regan. I'm the MLA for Bedford Basin. Thank you so much for inviting me here today to share in your Remembrance Day ceremony. I just want to let you know that we're actually at Province House. That's where I'm taping this, and just behind there is where we're working on laws. And one of the reasons why we celebrate Remembrance Day is because people went to war to make sure that we could actually make our own laws, that it wouldn't be some other country imposing them on us. So when you have your service today, I want you to remember those people who fought and died to make sure that we could make our own laws. And I want to thank you and thank your teachers for the terrific job you're all doing.
Thank you, Honorable Miss Regan. We are so grateful that you could find some time to send us this video message as we remember the supreme sacrifices of the members of our armed forces. Your message is very inspiring for our students. We now have a few readings about Remembrance Day. Pakistani Soldiers in the War by Samavia Ali. Sikh Soldiers in the War by Narendra Ravi. Indian Soldiers in the War by Amira Khanna. Barbados Soldiers in the War by Billy Grosvenor.
I am Samavia. I'm originally from Pakistan. Today I want to talk about the supreme sacrifices of Pakistani soldiers involved in the Great Wars. In 1945, they were a half million voluntary Muslim soldiers fighting in the World War II as part of the British Army. There were many amazing stories of bravery, but the bravery of Ali Haider of Pakistan was amazing. Ali Haider had traveled halfway across the world to another continent, to an unknown land about which he had probably never heard, in order to join the British struggle for a great cause. Ali Haider was involved in an attack on a post on River Sina in Italy. He was wounded many times in the effort, but was successful in helping to capture this very difficult post. Ali Haider was awarded the Victoria Cross for his bravery.
My name is Nirvana. I have learned that many soldiers from India took part in the World War II. In population, Sikhs are a small number, but the contribution to the war effort was the highest. They won 10 Victoria Crosses in both wars. In both wars, almost 80,000 turban-wearing Sikh soldiers were killed and about 100,000 were wounded. For a community so small, the losses were huge. And as I learn about it, I realize how humble were these people who went far from their homes to fight for a noble cause so far away. The losses and contribution of Sikhs in Flanders in World War II is extraordinary, where Sikh soldiers fought shoulder to shoulder with Canadian and British soldiers.
I'm Myra, and I'm originally from India. I have learned that many Indian soldiers took part in the World War II. 87,000 Indian soldiers died in the World War II, along with Canadian soldiers and British soldiers. During World War II, the Indian Army became the largest all-volunteer army in history, rising to over 2.5 million soldiers. The Victoria Cross is the highest medal given for bravery in the British Army. Indian soldiers in the World War II received 30 Victoria Crosses.
I am Abiela. I am from Barbados. Today, I want to talk about Barbados in the Great War. 12 Barbadian soldiers were part of the armed forces that went to the Great War. They were in the Royal Air Force. One pilot was Arrow Walton Barrow, who joined the Royal Air Force during the war. In December 1940, he was famous for being part of 45 missions over Europe. By 1945, he became an officer. He is a much respected veteran from Barbados.
Miss Banks, grade 1, will now sing, "Do You Know Where I Find Peace?" We now have a video presentation, Opinions of Time. Mr. Terry Kelly, a musician while in store, was impressed by the store owner who requested that his customers pause for 2-minute silence to respect our veteran sacrifices. All customers were respectful, except for one. Mr. Kelly channeled his frustrations about this incident into a beautiful song, Opinions of Time. Mr. Kelly has kindly allowed us to use this video for our virtual Remembrance Day ceremony.
Good morning, shoppers. At 11 o'clock on this 11th day of November, we'd like to invite you to share with us 2 minutes of silence in honor of our veterans.
They fought and some died for their homeland. They fought and some died, now it's our land. Look at his little child, there's no fear in her eyes. Could he not show respect for other dads who have died? Take 2 minutes, would you mind? It's a pittance of time for the boys and the girls who went over. In peace may they rest, may we never forget why they died. It's a pittance of time. God forgive me for wanting to strike him. Give me strength so as not to be like him. My heart pounds in my breast, fingers pressed to my lips. My throat wants to bawl out, my tongue barely resists. But 2 minutes I will bide. It's a pittance of time for the boys and the girls who went over. In peace may they rest, may we never forget why they died. It's a pittance of time. Read the letters and poems of the heroes at home. They have casualties, battles, and fears of their own. There's a price to be paid if you go, if you stay. Freedom's fought for and won in numerous ways. Take 2 minutes, would you mind? It's a pittance of time for the boys and the girls all over. May we never forget our young become vets at the end of the line. It's a pittance of time. It takes courage to fight in your own war. It takes courage to fight someone else's war. Our peacekeepers tell of their own living hell. They bring hope to foreign lands that hate mongers can't kill. Take 2 minutes, would you mind? It's a pittance of time for the boys and the girls who go over. In peacetime our best still don battle dress and lay their lives on the line. It's a pittance of time. In peace may they rest, lest we forget why they died. Take a pittance of time.
To remember the supreme sacrifices of our service personnel, I request everyone to stand for the last post. 2 minutes silence. Reveille and Lament. Last post in Reveille played by Mr. Demoff. Lament will be played by Piper Ian LeBlanc. We request Piper Ian LeBlanc to end this solemn ceremony in Lido.
in Flanders fields, ooh, the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row.